We all know each other, but not close enough. Let's go.
Hey people, it is Monday, May the 27th. 4:30 p.m. and about 24 Celsius, but feeling closer to 30 degrees Celsius with the humidex. It's a very hot and sticky day. We had some heavy rain earlier. It's mostly cleared up for now, but thunderstorms are still a possibility for later in the afternoon. I'm on the corner of Queen and Spadina, looking mainly to the south and a bit to the east. I'm going to be heading north here on Spadina. I'll take us up through Chinatown along Spadina Avenue. And then I'll head east along either College or possibly Baldwin Street, or maybe a bit of both. I guess Monday rush hour is getting underway. I was kind of expecting that I'd be recording some rain walks today, but the timing just wasn't right for that. Let's see what's new in Chinatown. Most of my Chinatown walks seem to focus more on the Dundas Street portion, and not as much the Spadina Avenue portion. And in many ways, Spadina Ave is the more interesting stretch of Chinatown. The building stock, especially on this more southerly stretch here. Chinatown actually begins at Sullivan Street, just a bit to the north. These old multi-story brick warehouse buildings add a lot to the streetscape here. It kind of levels off to a more low-slung streetscape once you get north of Dundas. There's the Sonic Boom record store. Probably the best record store in the city. They were located in a few different spots around downtown. They had to keep moving when their current location was sold. When I first moved to Toronto, they were on Bloor Street in the Annex. And then that building was sold to become a Dollarama. So they moved around the corner on Bathurst in the Honest Ed's complex. But then, of course, the Honest Ed's complex was also eventually sold off to a developer and demolished. So they had to move once again to their current location. That was all in the space of just a few years. Must have been a stressful time for them. But they've been at that location over there for quite a few years now, and I think they're thriving there. Here's the Chinatown Center Mall, one of two shopping malls on this stretch of Spadina. Both the malls are struggling these days. Not quite the beehive of activity that they once were. They're not completely dead. I have done a video walking through both those malls actually. And across the street, it's actually a bit more interesting, I think, than this side. On this stretch, we have a large grocery store with some outdoor fruit vendors. A&A department store across the street with some stuff out on display also. But that's the sunny side of the street. I think I'd rather stick to the shady side here. Souvenir shop. Chinatown is the place to come in the city if you're looking for cheap souvenirs. Quite a few shops. Of course, the quality of the merchandise might be questionable, or its authenticity might also be questionable, but the prices are right. Here's the other mall, Dragon City. I thought this was the busier of the two malls when I did my videos through here. Although the other mall, the Chinatown Center, is a bit bigger and I think has more shops. But this one seemed a bit more alive. That might have just been on the day I chose to go and record though. And Dundas and Spadina, the main intersection of Chinatown. So heading east on Dundas will take you through a long stretch of restaurants and businesses. It's the other main drag of the neighborhood. And it extends a bit to the west as well along Dundas. This is one of the busiest pedestrian crossings in the city. Especially if you come here on a nice Saturday or Sunday afternoon. It can be quite packed with people. That tends to be the days when Chinatown is at its busiest. Not so much on a Monday afternoon. There's another souvenir shop. And there are several also on the Dundas Street portion. Another large supermarket across the street. These are proving to be the places where you can get the best deals now on most regular grocery items, especially things such as fruit and vegetables. The prices can be drastically lower than more mainstream supermarket chains. And Kensington Market is also adjacent to Chinatown, just to the west. The two neighborhoods sort of blend into one another. Another souvenir store here. And a new mid-rise residential building is going up across the street. Had to clear my throat there. There were a few low-slung old commercial buildings that were demolished to make way for that. That did house some businesses, but I think the plan is once the new residential building is complete, there will be retail spaces on the ground floor for new businesses to move in, and hopefully they will be in keeping with the rest of the neighborhood, whatever those new businesses turn out to be. All right, now that will take you into Kensington Market. And you get some good views of the financial district, but those will be disappearing once that new residential building starts rising. First Canadian Place. And once you know it, another souvenir shop. Now this corner here has been derelict for years. There were some buildings here that were eventually demolished, but it still looks like it's in need of some complete redevelopment there, obviously. And Baldwin Street, looking into the heart of Kensington Market. More souvenirs.
I think it's pretty natural, which is alarming for us. It is not oh. Yeah, I don't care about his personal growth. I care about mine.
Rolsan. Looks like they got some work going on here at this location. We got American Pie in the heart of Chinatown. Krispy Kreme. This was one of the first locations downtown, actually. Mushroom dispensary, they're popping up all over the city.
Got the DJI Osmo Pocket.
That's right. Another admirer of my camera. Toronto.
I don't know, they look pretty interesting.
Lots of good grit all along here. Wortsman's Art Supplies. This harkens back to the days when this was a largely Jewish neighborhood.
That's where
You can still find many remnants of those days. There's a few remaining businesses and some old synagogues still in the area. The Jewish community moved further north. It was now located mostly along Bathurst Street in North York. And here's the El Macombo. One of the most famed venues in the city. It's not quite what it once was, but it's still in operation at least. All right, here's College Street. So this is where Chinatown ends, but what I'll do is I will just cross to the east side of Spadina. And then we'll walk a bit south down the east side here. Just to get a look at some of the businesses on the other side of the street, but I won't go all the way down. So I think what I'll eventually do is take us into Baldwin Village, which is a neat little strip of stores and restaurants on Baldwin Street. I was just debating whether or not to go down that alley. I think I'll just stick to Spadina.
Same show instead of just trying to stab my ass like a fucking.
I don't know what that guy said, but it was something not very nice, whatever it was. More souvenirs here. Played a record. This used to be on Yonge Street near Dundas. It's a very famed record store in the city. I think it was the subject of a documentary actually that you can find on Prime.
What Trish is it?
So I'll take us down to Baldwin and then I'll walk east along Baldwin into Baldwin Village. Neat mural there. Evergreen Youth Center. This also was located on Yonge Street. And they moved over here when that stretch of Yonge was slated for redevelopment. There's currently a new 85-story skyscraper under construction on its former location. Another mushroom place. And here is Baldwin Street. So get off of Spadina Ave. That person honked and said F you for no apparent reason other than I was walking with my camera. Get a look at some of the old housing stock here. Very dense, old, attached housing for the most part. These neighborhoods are often derided in urbanist videos as being in need of redevelopment and replaced by the so-called missing middle. But what they often don't get is this is already missing middle housing as it exists. There's very few detached houses here. It's almost all attached houses or semi-detached, row houses, that sort of thing, and lots of the larger houses that appear to be detached are actually made up of multiple units. And the population density is quite high in these neighborhoods. Just as high as in Montreal's Plex neighborhoods or parts of Brooklyn. It does have a bit of a grungy look to it, admittedly, but I don't think that's necessarily a bad thing. And you also see some more traditional walk-up apartments mixed in these old neighborhoods too. If you care to look for them, they're there. And here is Beverly Street. This is a lovely street here running north-south. Eventually connects with St. George Street at College and continues through the U of T campus, where it's equally lovely through that stretch. All right, we're coming into Baldwin Village.
Iranian people in my building.
Just a neat little enclave here, sort of hidden away. Even some local Torontonians might be surprised that this was here. I don't know if this is a new restaurant or not. I don't seem to remember seeing it last time I was here. Maybe it hasn't even opened yet. The neighborhood went through some rough times. There were several fires kind of in a short span of time that demolished or resulted in the destruction of some of the old storefronts or restaurants. This place, a couple of vacancies here. I don't think it would take too much to get this place back up to its former glory. A few new businesses, restaurants to draw in some people. And nice weather with all the patios always seems to add a lot to the area as well. And a whole bunch of new residents will be coming to the neighborhood soon in that new building, as well as another one just down the street at the Dundas and McCall. So anyway, that was Baldwin Village, and before that we took a walk through Chinatown along Spadina Avenue. So I hope you enjoyed the walk through two neat neighborhoods here on the west side of downtown on a very pleasant Monday. A bit muggy for my liking, but I guess it beats being caught in a downpour. So leave a comment below, let me know your thoughts. Have you been to these areas? Do you plan on checking them out if you haven't been? Did you know about Baldwin Village? And be sure to like, share, and subscribe if you haven't already done so. And also be sure to hit the notification bell. That way you won't miss any of my videos. And if you'd like to support the channel, there are links in the description where you can do so via PayPal, as well as via my merch store. And you can also support the channel by becoming a channel member or by sending a super thanks if you prefer. And you can find me on Instagram also under KContinuum. So thanks for watching, and thanks to all the channel members, and be sure to keep checking back, because as always, I will continue.